Okay, Chris, so just a little rattle through. Thought we'd start with what you referred to as the shorter swing. The grace, the elegance there for all to see, but if you slow it down that much, we're never going to get the power. So the simplest ideas are often the best, and if you keep your swing smooth, graceful, even and continuous, you'll track the club head very accurately, and that will make you very precise. But if you starve it of energy, we won't be able to get the power. So we've got to get the speed up, and that means getting the the speed at which it's done. The tempo needs to be a little bit faster, but the delivery smooth, even and continuous. And again, with a simple idea done well, it can pay extra. Well, there's nothing really better if it's done well. You can't be doing any better for yourself. But you must also notice when it's not a graceful, elegant, smooth and even rhythm. So quickly on to a slightly more detailed point. So we'll talk about the sort of length of swing that you notice. Now, this is what you said on camera was a shorter swing. You see the club goes a little bit underneath the ideal biomechanical plane line, but the left arm and the shaft much more towards the camera, which is excellent. Perhaps, the right knee straightening a little bit more than in a perfect world I'd like. But look at the way the butt of that club and essentially the mass of the club is absolutely bang on plane, which is a great place to deliver forwards and sets you up for the forward swing sequence, which is great. So just note the club is almost at horizontal. It's not far off it. Then we change direction. The club slots into almost perfect alignment with the swing path that we're looking for there. Good rotation, much like David Duval. All right, you can see not as much of your back though, have you noticed? So your chest isn't quite so much more towards the target, and your arms are more in front of you than on the side of you. So I think because your knee moves forwards that way, rather than towards the target, I think the preference would be for the knee to move towards the target instead of out towards the ball so much, or certainly that's the way it's going to feel, and we'll get a little bit more rotation impact, and that will allow you to apply stronger muscles to the task. So the club, again, exiting pretty much perfectly on plane. And at this point, you can stylize it. So things really going rather well at the moment. So keep up the good work. Let's just look at this swing that you said felt longer, or indeed was longer. We'll put the same parameters on there. Do we get the angles wrong as a result of the longer swing or anything like that? No, nothing sinister. Although maybe the club's got a little bit behind you. We would like to see it more, in this kind of position, halfway back, where it's parallel with your feet and left arm, same line as your left arm. So keep working on that. And we carry on to the end of the backswing. You see again the butt of the club's perfectly on line. And I think, your short swing, the club's about there. And your longer swing might be 6 or 8 inches longer. So great that you're sensitive to such small differences, but I really don't think, it's actually that much different. So let's just put that line back. Didn't mean to erase that. The change of direction, club slots down, impact. Again, probably could rotate more, if I'm honest. I think you're doing well, but I think we could be doing more in that respect. So I'm going to push you and encourage you to rotate your body more through impact and have the club and hands and arms more on your right side through impact. And I think we've got stuff on our thread pertaining to that in the past. But if we haven't, then you can ask me about that again. And certainly we can reiterate. And driver front on, reason I wanted to do that is with driver the ball's quite far forward in your stance, about the appropriate amount. Just I can't generally like to see it as far forward as the outside of the left shoulder. You're sort of a little bit back of that, but that's not death on a stick. And you can actually see the shaft of the club, which is consistent with how I like to see it and how a lot of players have it preset before address. It's not leaning towards the target. And for the record, we'll just watch you make a driver swing. And again, it's delivered smoothly, gracefully, elegantly, but you'd need to up the tempo without losing the smoothness if you want to gain energy, but not lose any consistency of ball striking. So that's important. Now, I took a couple of stills from front on, and you can see how the shaft is leaning forwards much more. The hands are in front of the club head. You will get more value if you move the ball forwards towards your left foot. Sorry, with the still the still picture, I can't draw lines on here, but you get the idea. You've moved the ball a long way back comparative to your driver, and yet this is very much in the family of driver. And the ball is significantly further back and the shaft is leaning forward. So you're going to struggle to get consistency in your swing if the ball is that much further back, because to get anything like the same ball flight from both shots, that ball position is so different. You're going to hit the ball at a different point in the arc of the swing, and it's going to cause you problems. So you're going to have to, sort of create a different type of swing for those two clubs. So nudge the ball further towards your sort of left armpit, left shoulder, even the outside of your left shoulder, and have a little go with your fairway wood and see how that goes. I know you've said it's going okay at the moment, and there's no reason it can't. You can't work around that ball position, but I think it's going to be a lot easier for consistency's sake if you have the ball in a more desirable position opposite the lead foot and the shaft, sort of more perpendicular to start with, or even leaning back, and then sort of perpendicular or slightly leaning back and impact is a good shout as well in terms of the average recreational golfer. So there we go. Oh yeah, just ducking back to the video. Yes, this club down on the ground, I would put your line out in front, pointing towards whatever your target might be in the water there. I would put the club down on the ground out in front of you and ignore any line that might be plonked down between you and the club, which I know you don't like anyway. So there you go. Enough for now. Catch up with you soon. Keep up the good work, my friend. Cheers, Chris. Bye.